Have you tried print on demand? I have not. So that's what we're going to try to work on in this video. So stay tuned. Hello, and welcome to Crafting with Glorious Purpose with me, Carolyn, where here we make unique and custom gifts for you or for that special someone. This is the first studio vlog back from Christmas break. It is the week of, oh my God, January 5th. Like New Year's just happened. It's 2026. I don't know where that time had gone. But we are back in the studio and we are back at work, which, boo. I'm sure everybody's feeling the same. This week is going to be easing back into things. I did post last week, which was a pre-recorded, for my 2026 goals. And I hit the ground running with my 2026 goals. I am not gonna take them lightly this year. I'm pushing really hard to make this happen. So one of my main goals was I wanted to use print on demand, or at least give it a shot, for making t-shirts. And I spent the good portion of my later part of Christmas break into New Year's. I believe I spent all of New Year's Eve sitting and drawing and getting prepped and setting up my Printify account. I didn't record it, but I'm going to go through probably today and show you how I set mine up. I do want to say I am not affiliated at all with Printify. I was going back and forth between Printify and Printful. I'm going to try Printify first, only because they had a more robust catalog. Not that it mattered, because I was going for t-shirts, but I also don't want to down the line have to change it and set it up differently because I did one and now I wish I would have done the other. So I'm going to give this one a shot first with one product, get it out there. I have the shop set up. I'll kind of show you what it looks like, what things are. I sent away for a sample, so I'm waiting on that before I actually do all the promoting on it. If the sample comes back and I'm like, then I'm probably going to not go with that. However, the artwork is all taken care of. My poor little iPad has been put through the ringer these last couple weeks. I have made, oh God, let's see, over 60 plus dogs in a new style. It's more of a minimalistic kind of illustration of a dog. I did color variations of each of the dogs in like a trio, and I'm going to try making different shirts with each of the dogs, so that if you wanted to pick up a dog with your colors, or if you're just a dog lover of that breed, there'll be 3 variations of the most popular colors on there. I am doing this as a Valentine's Day collection, so that's going to be my Valentine's Day opener if everything goes as planned. And then I'm easily able to illustrate different themes for those dogs and apply it to shirts. So with that said, it's already 8 o'clock. Now I got to move into work, get logged in. I will catch you at lunch and we will walk through my Printify shop and show you how I did it and set up, and what I'm feeling so far, pros and cons, versus setting it up through another print-on-demand place. So I'm only going by experience of what I've done so far. I've never done this before, so don't take this as a as gospel, only because I am testing the waters to see how it goes. So hopefully things go well and we can kind of hit the ground running and get a whole bunch of this print-on-demand stuff out there. I would love to do sweatshirts, or in the summer maybe do tank tops, or I kind of want to keep it for apparel because I enjoy the hands-on part of my handmade part of my business, but I can't do shirts. I mean, it's just, I've tried, um, and I feel like I can't offer a lot of the things because I don't want to get stuck with a lot of the things if they don't sell. And you know, it's, I probably will still offer my rhinestone shirts as an option. But even that, like, I've not made any sales online for those. So I think, those might actually come off the site to begin with. And I might just scrap that because, um, not that I don't enjoy doing them. It's just, I don't know that there's a market for it in my area. So it might be something maybe I do as an exclusive. Every once in a while, I'll throw one up for a holiday or something, but not offer custom ones. So, yeah. So let's get on to work. Let's get this day started. Hopefully it goes quick, and then we can head over to showing you how I set up my Printify and also our game plan for the rest of this week, because it's not really a heavy week, but I kind of want to ease my way in. Um, we also got the tree and stuff taken down, so now all this stuff that's crammed in my room that I feel like I'm being consumed can go back out where it's supposed to go, and I can actually feel like I can breathe a little more in here, and you know, get this ball rolling. So we'll catch you at lunch. So when logging into Printify.com, for the first time, you'll do your setup and do your username and password just like every other website. So nothing different there. When you log in, what you'll get is this will be your dashboard. So from what I'm noticing, I set up 2 only because I was going to originally go through and do my Printify and sync it up with my Big Cartel so that I could sell items through there. But as I've said in previous videos, I am very close to my threshold in Big Cartel for items. So I didn't want to, go in and put 60 dog breeds in and then have to upgrade to the next tier, just to do a test. So I wanted to try this out first and see how it would work. But that's why I have 2 accounts. So this one here has my Big Cartel icon. So this one is connected through my Big Cartel. So if I add an item in Big Cartel, then it will automatically fulfill in my Printify. But after watching a few videos on setting up and doing, I realized they have an actual option to do a pop-up shop. So what the pop-up shop is, it actually stands alone from any provider. So I know people use Etsy and Shopify and all that other stuff. That would be the equivalent of what I do for my Big Cartel site. You don't need to pay to have a pop-up. They basically give you an opportunity to make your own catalog of items, and then they fulfill them and just take the money that they need out of it, and then everything else is profit on your end. I'm still kind of ironing out the some of the fine-tuned details, but I do have my shop set up and ready to go. It is live, and I am, like I said, I'm not promoting it until I get my sample. But what you will do is you'll go to add a new store in your dashboard, and then it'll ask you to connect any of your stores. So Big Cartel is new to this, Printify side of things. They did have Printful, so there's an option there as well. But any of these, I guess you click on it and you kind of update all the information as you go to connect your store. Or you can, if you don't have a sales channel, this is where the pop-up thing is. So you can create your own online store in minutes, no setup fees, no hassles, you sell the merch with 0 upfront costs, so you have nothing to lose. So basically, if you set up a whole bunch of items and they don't sell, you're not stuck with any merchandise. You're not stuck with, paying to host a site that no traffic's going to go to. So, I mean, it's actually a pretty cool idea if you want to just kind of get started. So I'm using this pop-up as my testing the waters, doing print on demand, and then seeing if I need to move into more robust, options.
But yeah, what you'll do is you'll connect to pop-up, and it will come up, and you put in your store, and it gives you this URL. And I believe that you can go in and change the URL. I've seen people do where they've paid for a domain and then just had it redirect. So, I mean, there's options for that, but I was fine with the print.printify.me. So mine, unfortunately, cannot take all the characters of my name. My name is a little too long. So I have crafting W, glorious purpose, instead of with, because I can't spell out the word with. So there's no spaces, and it is all one word. But you'll put your name in here, and then you will follow the prompts to go through and setting up your pop-up shop. So the other interesting part in here is, like, you can set up your notifications if you've had an order, or, all that good stuff. But this is their catalog of items. So they do embroidering, which is new, engraving, and there's a bunch of different themes. They even have ones that are newest arrivals, which I thought was really cool, because then they will show you things that are trending or things that they've just dropped. And that is, to me, very, very helpful when you're first starting out and you want to do something that nobody else is really doing. Under my products is what I have listed. So if you add a new product and you want to add, that's where you're putting these in. There's the promotions, which I've not looked at, but I believe that this goes in with their paid Printify Premium thing. I'm not really sure about the promotion part, so don't, that I might have to look into further, but I'm not running any promotions as of yet because, like I said, I just started. Orders will be where your orders go, which I don't have any. I mean, other than the one that I did just to kind of test it from so I ordered one of my shirts from my other email address so that I could see if, what it looks like from the client's perspective, and one from my perspective, like how it looks in my dashboard versus how the email comes across, what it looks like, how the tracking goes. I ordered my shirt on January the 1st, and it is in shipment, or whatever you call it, pre-shipment, things like that. So that is ready, and I am waiting to get the tracking information on what needs to, like how they're coming in the mail. So I'm looking forward to that. The next part would be wallets is, another part that has like your taxes. It's basically your center command for your finances. So I'm not going to go through that because I have my personal information in there. Insights, I'm assuming, is if I had any, I could show you. The other one I wanted to show you was branding. So if you're doing print on demand, obviously you're not getting to put in your packaging and your information, your business card, things like that. But they do have packing inserts that you can do for 15 cents per order. And I did make a new card and uploaded that. But you can have a packaging insert. You can actually do neck labels, which I also added, and that was added into the cost of the shirt. But I have my logo, which will go above the washing instructions and the size, so I can have my logo in there. And there's also an option for gift messages. So if somebody bought it from your site and they wanted to use it as a gift this way, then you can put a little card that says, hey, that somebody shopped here and this gift is for you, kind of thing. I'm skipping the gift message because I'm not there. That's just extra money I don't want to spend at this point. But the 15 cents to actually have my name in there and my socials and my website, lead them back to my White Cartel or to other things, I definitely wanted to have that in there. So then when you go under store settings, this is where you will set up all the information for your actual store. So you can go in and customize. This will set up your shipping, your verification for Stripe, which is what they use. So you can do credit cards, and you can put in your shipping address. It'll have your order settings. Order settings is actually really interesting. What I noticed is if you don't have enable order routing checked, if they don't have that shirt in that color that you picked, it'll just say that they can't fulfill the order. If you want to have them reroute it to somewhere that has the same shirt, then you will select exact product matches, but you'll want to make sure that this has a dollar amount in it, so that if they send it to another provider and it's more expensive, from what I'm reading, if you don't put that in there, then you could lose money because it may cost more than you want to have it shipped to another facility to have the order fulfilled. So make sure that you have, if you don't want to spend any more than $2 to have it go somewhere else just to get that sale, then you want to make sure that you're not enabling this, or you're, making sure that the dollar amount is worth your while to make the shirt. Also, for the routing portion of it, it has about the exact product matches only, or you can do similar if the exact is not available. So if you have done your due diligence and you've gotten samples and you picked one that you specifically liked, and then they substitute it with a similar product and you don't know anything about it or don't like it, that could have issues. So I was sticking with exact only. I'd rather not fulfill it and then have something go out that's not what I tested. So they do give you examples of order routing and how that kind of works in here. And then at the moment, since I'm just starting out, I'm leaving mine set to manual, so that if I get a notification about an order, it doesn't automatically go into production to be worked on unless I actually click it through to go. So I am having it do that for right now. I'm pretty sure if you're a bigger company and you're doing that, you don't want to be clicking all day long every time an order comes through. So you will probably choose automatically. I would think 24 hours would probably be the best, because then you have room to make sure the credit card has gone through, etc., etc. But for right now, I want to manually click them through to make sure everything's going. And then you do have the option for personalization, and I haven't looked into that yet, but this would be where you would set that up. So like if you wanted to put a name on a shirt or something like that. And there's also about notifications for tracking, so that if you want to receive, like, soon as things are sent out, and if you want to receive order updates every day that tells you how many orders you've gotten in a day, that kind of stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, and then here's where you will insert your packaging here. And if you wanted to do a gift message, that's where you would, click on here and you would start to design the template. But I, like I said, don't have one in there. I just have the enable all inserts for, with my card. And my internet is really crawling right now. But that's where you will do all that information. So I'm going to go back to the store information, because what I want to show you next is how I customized my store. All right, so when you click on customize your store, it will take you to your actual storefront. So what I have here is, this will be what my store will look like. So if I had any cons, this would be where I would be the most apt to save them. I am not a fan of the interface for changing things on this. You cannot group products. Like, you can't have a one product here that says t-shirts and then you click on it and it spills out all of the t-shirts. So unfortunately, this is just an on-running line of items. So if I had mugs, they would be intermingled in between t-shirts. If I had, different things, like, you can't do more than one variation per shirt other than the colors. And that's where I struggle with, because I want the full control of being able to do that. But I get it, it's free. So I also have to look at it from that angle. So it's the fact that you can customize anything is a plus, but I do think there are some things that updates could happen, that would still probably keep it free. Like I would love to have that actually happen. So you can go in and you can pick themes. They have different pre-made ones, but you can go in and do a custom theme, which I did so that I could add my brand colors in there. And you also have the option to put in a banner. So I created that for myself. It took a little getting used to because they give you the recommendations and I followed those for this hero image, and on the mobile it looks really odd, like it cuts it off, and I haven't figured out how that like it does that. Like I don't understand why you would have a hero shot if you can't see the whole damn thing, or if it doesn't just, you know, shrink it down. So I'm not sure what to do about that portion of it, or even what kind of hero shot I'd put in there that I'd be okay with it just showing me the middle. So I'm still kind of figuring that out. But you can change your text colors, your banner. You could actually put in copy in here, which is probably the better option of the two, but I wanted to have my brand in there just to make sure, you know, everything has continuity with my big cartel, so that when I do send this out to people, they don't assume that this is some weird scammer posing as me, because that could happen. And that does happen a lot. I mean, people are very shady. This next tab is product arrangement, and this is my biggest con that I have. You are able to move your items in the order you want them to be. So I've done all these shirts. I have 60 shirts up there as of right now, and I wanted them in alphabetical order. Seems pretty simple, right? No. When I move or add a new item, it throws off the bottom portion, and I think it's because it sees it as a second page. So all of my ones that would be on the second page get jacked up, and every time I add one product in to add it, if I wanted to move, like say this one was a dog that would fit between here, and as soon as you add it, it puts it as number 1. If I moved it down here, it would throw off the bottom portion, and my Yorkie would be like somewhere in the middle, which drives me absolutely crazy. So I think what I'm going to be doing is adding these last few dogs, and I'm going to do them as a whole batch, so that if I'm going to be in here monkeying it around and trying to fix it, I'm doing it one more time, because I've pretty much lost my sanity just making sure that these are in the correct order. But you know, it is what it is. The last portion is your social media, so you can go in and put all your links to your socials. I do have a TikTok, but I don't promote it. And then Snapchat I don't have. I feel like I'm not a 13-year-old kid and I don't need Snapchat. Like, to me, that's just silly. It doesn't do anything for me. So I am putting my main 4 that I put on everything, which is Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and that's the ones that I'm most active on, and that adds them to the bottom portion of my banner, so it's in my footer. The other thing that Printify automatically does, in your store, let me go back to this, is it makes these tabs appear automatically. So because I picked a unisex tee, it made a women's and a men's tab. So if you did put mugs, it would put mugs in there, and I'm hoping that it would probably come in as household or something like that. At least I think, I don't know, but I'm sticking with just doing this portion for right now. So if you go to my actual shop, it looks like that. I don't like the way this banner looks. It looks very low res. So I'm going to have to look into this, because I keep making the outside portion, like the pink, larger and the inside smaller, and I think it just keeps blowing it up. Even though I'm not changing the pixels, I'm just putting the content smaller in the middle to kind of gauge where it's going to go for a mobile, and it's still making it bigger than it should be, and it looks very pixelated. So I'm going to have to I need to fix this banner portion. But I do like the way that the products are displayed. So if you click on one of these, so let's go to one, we'll go to the Aussie Doodles. So here is what it will look like. And I have, you know, all of the 3 variations on here. I can choose from several mock-ups, and I can download those mock-ups, which is even better because then I can promote them on my socials. But I chose a front, a back, so that they can see that the back doesn't have anything on it. I have a neck shot so you can see where my logo will be. I have one with an actual model. There is an actual size chart that has the different measurements for your shirt that you chose. And there's also the back. I particularly really like the folded version because, I mean, people get what a t-shirt looks like. So, I mean, it's not like you need to see it, but they take care of all of the parts. So like you notice these all change whenever you put in the colors that you chose. So I chose 3 colors for this because I want it to be more Valentine's Day. The Paragon is what I ordered a sample of because everywhere I read online, it's supposed to be like a vintagey looking purple, and I don't know that it reads that. It looks more gray on here, but I wanted like a purple, pink, and a red for Valentine's Day. They automatically put in the sizes for you, which is nice. They put the about product will automatically fill in AI stuff. So I went in and I edited it myself because I wanted to have, you know, more of a feel of what I would say versus what's written in AI. But they have the shipping and the care instructions and the product details for you. So it'll say, you know, how the shoulder is. Like, none of this stuff I had to look up to put in these items. So it went really, really quick. I think I had start to finish, probably within a couple hours, I had like at least 10 items up and ready to go. And once I did one, I just duplicated it and changed the image. It automatically creates the mock-ups for you and you're set. So yeah, so when I click on this, nothing looks different because these are available in both. I'm hoping that, you know, you can do newest arrivals, you can do lowest to highest, but these are all the same price. They're all the same thing. So really the sorting doesn't help me any. But you can actually put backgrounds on the mock-ups, which is what I did here. And I love how that turned out. So if you go back, I will show you how I added an item to my catalog. Okay, so this is the last portion that I'm going to show you, and this is the how you add a product. So I have this one here, which is published, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it just to kind of show you and walk you through what it will look like. So it automatically puts so when you click here, you've got the title will be at the top here, and it will automatically pull once you've added an item, and it'll just duplicate everything for you. So it'll remember what variants you picked and all the details there. It shows you your shipping, your pricing, your markup, all of it. So when you click on your edit design, it will show you the t-shirt and the placement. So you can move this around wherever you want. If you're more specific like I am, I like it at the top. I want it at 100%. You can choose the width if you want to enlarge it, but just keep mindful that, you know, obviously if you make it larger, it could be pixelated. The next part is if you go to your variants, you can choose different colored shirts here, and it will add it automatically to those items. So maybe I want to add this heather indigo color in here, and it'll show me that there are 7 sizes if I wanted to offer those. And you can go to see details here, and you can see there's 427 different colors or variants that you could choose. So each one of these have different sizes that are available, and some don't go up to like the 4 or 5X. But it'll show you the providers and, you know, which ones have a sizes available. So there's 10 that do the 5X for the portion of small to, you know, the 4XL. They have more of the providers that are available for that. What you'll do here, so let's just delete this for right now. You'll go to your upload and you can choose from your device, or you can choose from your library. So like here I have all of my dogs in here, but you know, this was what I was doing, was adding these in. I'm going to go back to my main. For some reason, it automatically pulls it in and upscales it, which I don't like. But I make sure that I put it in at the 100% because I sized it to what I wanted in Illustrator before I exported it as a PNG to make sure that it will be the correct size. I want to make sure that it's centered, so I clicked here and I clicked here to make sure that it was at the top instead of trying to eyeball it on every shirt. Then what I did next was, so the neck label automatically filled in, but you can put in your logo or whatever you wanted to put in there. If you put nothing, it would just have the large and what the washing instructions are. The next part is going into your preview. So, the other thing I didn't do was, you could make a specific design just for one of these. So like say it doesn't show up. Some of the dogs that I did probably wouldn't work on black because you would lose the quality of where they are on the shirt. So I probably would need to edit that design, maybe making a thin white outline or some kind of, some kind of option there where to make sure that it's viewable. So you could go in and do a, reverse indigo to default, kind of, you can go in and change that. So when you go on preview, it shows you your mock-ups. So I have it to set with a Printify background. So I've added my, my little leaves and my actual color swatch for my pink color. They actually have more options for, like if I wanted to show a guy in here, I could. They have them. I mean, it's just ridiculous how cool these look. But you can actually download the mock-up, and I think it's getting cut off down here, but you can download the mock-up of the person or the, how you want it to look. But I thought that these looked really professional. Like they look really, really cool. Especially like, I love the folded one. I do like the way these look on people. They don't look fake, I guess is the best way to say it. And they look like normal average people and not like supermodel-y type, AI people. And these actually change color as you go through them. So if you picked like a specific color, you get to see what they look like throughout here. So you'll do that. You'll save your product, and that is it. And then it will show up in your products. So when I hit save, it takes me to the next page, which basically is where you will go in and put all your copy. So if you wanted to change, the headline, obviously, like this one is, a copy of, so you'll want to take that part out. You'll put in, what dog you want in here. If you wanted to make it something completely different, you could. You can change the sizing. You could actually add the table to the description, which is what I believe I did. You can do the personalization, but I'm not really sure how that works. I have the shipping, I have the pricing, so you can go through and do the pricing, and then you can choose all of your syncing your products, and then you just hit publish. You could also save it as a draft, so if you wanted to come back to it later, you could. But that is how Printify actually works. So this one, it says it's publishing it, but I am going to delete this item because this item is not going to go in the store because I just made a duplication of it. So I can go in here and I can delete it right from there. And that shows you, like, you can choose by your print provider. So if you had different things and you wanted to look up ones that were just going to a certain facility, if you wanted personalization, which ones you are allowing for personalization, you have ones that, to be removed, There's ones that require action. I'm assuming if there was an issue, then you would know. But you can actually do bulk orders so that I'm assuming this would be if you wanted to do it for, an event and you were like, oh, I'm going to take some shirts, and you could do a bulk order. You can order a sample right from here. And yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be really, really cool. So let's try a mouse pad and see what it looks like. We'll go with the rectangle. Start designing. Let's add in, where's my pups? And we need a color in the back, so we'll go with the light pink. And let's reduce that down like that. And let's see what a mock-up looks like. That looks cool. That is really cool. So, yeah, I'm going to be playing with this, seeing what items might actually make more sense to do. But yeah, these turned out really, really good. And yeah, hopefully you can find something in here that you'd be able to do. But like I said, I'd like to offer more like hoodies and sweatshirts and things like that, because I think that might actually look really cool. And I don't know that people use mouse mats anymore. I'm thinking they use like the whole desk calendar or the desk mat, like the whole desk, not just for the little one. But to the same point, I would totally, like to offer some products that I don't want to have in house. Like I don't want to stock a bunch of shirts. I don't want to stock a bunch of stuff like that. So I hopefully will be able to show you in this video the sample, because I'm hoping that comes this week. It is only Monday, so there's that. And I will catch you later.
Hello, and welcome to Thursday. So this week kind of flew by. I finally got my shirt sample in the mail. I got, as you saw, a little envelope. My card was rolled up in a ball and crunched and shoved inside the shirt, which I wasn't too happy about. And I also don't think that the quality on this is that great for charging 15 cents a piece, but like you can actually tell like the print heads need cleaned. Like there's stripes in there. So not all, I was expecting something different with the card, but I get it that it's print as you go kind of deal. However, I will say the shirt is awesome sauce. It is super soft. This is the Gildan soft style. I love the way the name part turned out, and I think that this color, which I was a little concerned about, I wanted like a light lilac, and they didn't have that as a version in this shirt. But I wasn't sure what Paragon is. And this is what Paragon is. It is a like medium-ish kind of purple-y color. So I'm going to offer this shirt in the red, a pink, and this Paragon. I wanted to see what this would look like printed. I don't think it's that bad, actually. It's not quite what I was thinking. Like it has a screen print kind of feel to it, but it also is not it is definitely not an iron-on transfer. Like it feels like it was printed on the garment or silk screened, which I know it's not silk screen, but it has that feeling of a silk screen shirt. Um, really cool. I really like it. So I'm gonna use this to take some actual photos for social media and things like that. But I'm going to continue to use the mock-ups that are in the thing. But um, you know, the packaging, a little to be desired. Like I said, this was crumpled up inside of the shirt, not sitting on top of the shirt. Like I would have rather it been on top than shoved inside. But yeah, whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm all systems go. I mean, I really, honestly, I think this turned out really cool, and I'm looking forward to starting to share this on social media. I will be sending out the links to the shop, and getting this out there. This will be my collection for um, Valentine's Day. So first, getting it promoted and getting it out there, and then I have a few dogs left to finish. I'm down to my last 3 or 4, and then I will have all of the pups on there. Some of them, um, so I'm at about 85. I'm trying to remember how many pups I have. I mean, it's starting to blur together. But some of them were color variations only because, like, um, they're popular, I guess is the best way to say. Like, so for like Bulldog, there's 2 different kinds of, like, there's like the American and then the English, and they look a little different, but Bulldog is a Bulldog. You've got, um, I had color variations of the black lab, the chocolate lab, and the yellow lab, but on the shirt, I did all 3. So technically, that's just one. So some of the variations kind of knocked it down, the size or the amount of shirts I have down. Um, but hmm, um, I do have room to add other breeds if there's ones that I forgot. So I'm going to get working on finishing up these last pups so that I'm in the home stretch and I can get this project done and ready to go. My hopes for this is if these do well, I want to do them for other seasons. So I had ones with little, you know, dressed up with little leprechauns so that I can change it out. I can change the artwork out, and the shirt colors, and have, green ones and, stuff for, you know, St. Patrick's Day. I can have ones for spring / kind of an Easter vibe. I can have ones for summer. Summer ones I was thinking about maybe doing them as tank tops, Like I have so many things going on with the little pops that I'm looking forward to kind of doing like a little collection of those on their own that is just strictly on the print on demand kind of thing so that I don't have to keep the shirts in stock. Um, all in all, not a bad experience. I bought the shirts on New Year's Day. I don't know that it made a difference with the holiday because I wasn't sure what their hours were, but it arrived today, and today's the 8th. So it took about a week to get it. And I'm assuming holiday had something to do with it. I don't know if it would have been a different shipping had it not been on a holiday, but it came from, it looks like this was shipped from Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm in PA. So it took about a week to get from there. Um, all the tracking stuff said it was in Springfield, Illinois, or it just said Springfield. So I don't know if it got moved because they didn't have something, but I didn't get any notifications that it was fulfilled somewhere else. So that could be neither here nor there. But overall, that was the premise of this, you know, experiment. This vlog this week was to set up a Printify shop, get a sample, and seeing if I can make this work for 2026. And we are on our way. So the testing is done and I'm ready to go live. So we'll see how it goes. I will catch you next week. I hope that this helps somebody that's on the fence about trying. I am only out a shirt at this point, and I'm going to be, don't tell anyone, gifting this. This is, I wanted to get this color, um, but I also wanted to give this to someone that I know that's their birthday's coming up and they love collies. So um, that's where this is going to go for a birthday present. And I won't be completely out the shirt, but to the same point, I didn't even order it as a sample. I ordered through my shop so that I could see that Stripe was working, everything was working, and I was the one that if it didn't work, it would be me and not a client, or a customer. So um, hopefully this helps somebody else that's on the fence about doing print on demand. And if how you think it worked, I'm looking forward to trying other products, and I'll be more than happy to share them on here as I do them. But for right now, I'm going to stick with apparel and seeing how this you know brings in work if I get some orders, and kind of working on doing my artwork that way. So I hope that you guys have an awesome week, and we will catch you in the next one. And if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what your thoughts are for print on demand, and if you use it or if you're thinking about using it, um, or how your experience has gone. Talk to you later. Bye, everyone.